Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from Confessions. Our first post is by Secretly Wealthy. 2 years ago I won a huge amount of money in a settlement, and I'm essentially retired at 31, and no one in my life knows. I can't get into specifics due to the terms of the settlement, but I got more money than I ever dreamed I'd have. Enough to where I would never need to work again. I quit my job and I invested the bulk of it, and the investments paid off, and I essentially made nearly 6 times that money in the last 2 years. No one in my life knows exactly how well off I am. My immediate family and friends know I received a settlement, but not how much. Now that the pandemic is over, I spend my time traveling while my accountant and my broker handle everything else, and the money just keeps growing. I grew up pretty poor and was poor until said settlement happened, so it's still very new to me. I've been so blessed, and I'm so grateful to be in the position I'm in. I've made a lot of anonymous donations to various charities I believe in, and have seen firsthand what they've done to change lives with money I've sent them. I've tried really hard and succeeded at keeping out of the public eye, thankfully, but I'm honestly not sure what I want to do with the rest of my life, but I know I'm not stopping here. Our next post is by Best Occasion. I had an orgasm on a roller coaster while holding my sister's boyfriend's hand, throwaway account for obvious reasons. So this happened a few months ago. We all went to a theme park, I won't say which one here, and rode lots of roller coasters and had a good time. My older sister, 20, didn't want to go on the swinging boat ride, you know, the kind that is a pirate boat and swings back and forwards for a few minutes, as she isn't a huge fan of rides anyway. But me, F, and her BF, 21, wanted to go on it, so we went together and sat right at the back. Big mistake, as I'd soon come to learn that the forces are much stronger in that part. All started off normal for about 10 seconds, but I started to notice as the ride went backwards each time I'd feel a huge amount of force down there, and it felt very, very good. By about the third or fourth it did it, I was shaking and getting close, so I think my sister's BF could tell something was up and must have thought I was scared, freaking out, so he grabbed my hand to hold it. This was another's big mistake, as the human touch didn't help with what was going on, and as we neared the top I had the most intense orgasm of my life, and couldn't help but scream. The ride ended and we got off, and my sister asked if we enjoyed it. I just played it down and said it was scary, but now I need the toilet. Still to this day, no one knows what really happened on that ride. Our next post is by Open Somewhere. My husband came out as trans yesterday, and I feel like my world is falling apart. I support trans people and I support my husband being her true self, but it's so hard and I don't know if I can do this. I'm attracted to men, especially the man I married, but he's going to be a woman now, and I don't find that attractive on a physical or emotional level. So I feel really heartbroken, and I don't know how I'm going to explain it to our family, our friends, or especially our children. Again, I want to be supportive if this is my husband's true self, but I don't think our marriage can survive this because of my own preferences, etc. It's just so difficult, and honestly I don't know what to do. Update. I thought about it a lot, and our marriage isn't going to survive this, and we're getting a divorce. My husband also told me during one of the many talks we've had in the last couple of days that she is attracted to men and wants to explore that. So I think divorce is best for both of us at this point, because I didn't sign up to be in a lesbian relationship with a partner that wants to sleep with men on the side, and she wants things that I can't give her, and isn't the man that I fell in love with, married, and had 2 children with anymore. So it's over. I'm going to try to stay on good terms, and I think it's important that my children know who their father is. Thank you to everyone who's been so supportive. My post got a lot more eyes on it than I anticipated, and I've had so many of you reach out through either comments or direct messages with so much kindness and support that's been overwhelming. It really means a lot, and several of you have been so kind it's made me cry. I'm really touched by the love in this community, and it isn't something I'll forget. Our next post is by Rollin' Good Times. My lesbian friend and I had sex last night. I'm a dude. She and I used to work together years ago, and we have a lot of the same hobbies and became good work friends. I even asked her out, and that's when she told me she was gay and asked if we could be friends. I was disappointed because I'm definitely attracted to her on multiple levels, but I was glad it didn't make things too weird to be friends. We played games online together and even hung out in groups or one-on-one sometimes for years. Well, I broke up with my girlfriend recently and have been feeling down, and she asked if she could bring food over and hang out. I said sure, and she came over last night with some Chinese food. After we ate, we were watching TV on the couch, talking and smoking weed, and we had this moment of eye contact. Then she kissed me. Then we started making out. Then clothes started coming off and we had sex right there on the couch multiple times through the night. We talked about it in the morning and I said, "I thought you were gay," and she said, "Yeah, me too." I asked her if it was just the weed and she said, "No, it really wasn't. But let's try again sober." Then we had sex again this morning and it was electrifying, more so than last night even. I told her how I felt about her never changed, and I was always attracted to her but just wrote it off because I didn't think she was attracted to me, let alone men in general. She said she didn't used to be, but recently she's been having thoughts about me specifically and wanted to try it. We talked things over more and we're trying this out. We have undeniable chemistry sexually and otherwise, and I'm more excited about this than I've been about any other relationship. I feel a sense of completion with her that I've never felt with another woman. I think I've been in love with her this whole time and just repressed and wrote it off. I haven't been able to stop smiling all morning. Our next post is by Revolutionary Top. I slapped an 11-year-old across the face. I'm 19 and don't really regret a single thing. As the title says, I slapped an 11-year-old and regret nothing. Context may be a bit long. A couple weeks ago I was babysitting my best friend's brother. I usually can't stand kids, but my friend was on the verge of a breakdown, so I offered to take the kid off his hands for a bit so he could finish his art school project and relax. Before anyone asks, they don't come from the most stable of families. Their parents are divorced and are barely around to take care of either of them, hence why I offered in the first place, because I know my friend has been running himself thin lately. Anyway, I took the kid back to my house because there isn't much to do around here, and I'm a broke student, and on the trip back he was already acting like an obnoxious piece of crap, asking me if I ate my dog because I'm Asian, and referring to me as a female every single time we talked. My mum was out running errands and meeting with some of her friends, so it was up to me to watch him. I asked him if he wanted to play a board game. He said no. I asked if he wanted to play some video games. He said no. I asked if he wanted to go kick a football around, since I live in the countryside and there's plenty of space to dick around. He said no. By this point I had no idea what the kid wanted, so I just kinda let him explore the house a bit, to which he stumbled across my BB gun. Now, I'm from Europe, which is pretty self-explanatory. You don't come across BB guns, airsoft rifles and such often, so naturally he was fascinated with it. I explained that I don't use it to shoot despite the fact that I do have pellets, came with the gun, never used them, and that I only keep it around for cosplay reasons. I told him he couldn't shoot it because it's still a semi-dangerous piece of equipment. The shit stain threw a full-on tantrum at the ripe age of 11, screaming and crying, yelling and hitting stuff, to which, after 5 whole minutes of this, I relented. I told him that he could shoot a few as long as he aimed at a big tree in the garden and only under my supervision. He agrees. I set up the gun, etc., etc. Now, I have 5 cats. One of them is a 12-year-old senior cat who spends his days lying around the garden under patches of sun. He's not slow per se, but he definitely isn't what he used to be. I take the kid out and direct him to the tree. He fires, and all's good. My senior cat is lounging close by behind the kid, sleeping away and not bothering anyone. Kid turns to me and asks for some water, to which I say sure, don't fire, I'll be back. As I'm filling up the glass for Mr. Numbskull, I hear a loud yowl, like a really loud pained yowl. I immediately dash outside and see the little bee pointing the BB gun at my senior cat, who's lying there essentially screeching in agony. He'd shot my cat, and the absolute smug poop-eating smirk on his face made me absolutely lose it. I stormed up to him and slapped him right across the face whilst simultaneously screaming at him. The waste of space had the gall, the audacity to collapse on his butt and start crying and hiccuping. I scooped my cat up and cradled him, hushing and petting him as I called my mum, explained the situation, to which she came rushing back home, probably broke a couple of red lights and took the cat to the vet. He's fine, by the way. The pellet didn't perforate into him or damage any organs, just got wedged halfway in the skin, painful and costly nonetheless, whilst it landed on me to take the crying bee back home. Nonetheless, there's a reason my best friend is my best friend. He absolutely lost it on the crying bastard who thought his big brother was gonna comfort him and tell him he didn't do jack. Part of me thinks that my friend absolutely losing it on the kid was his own way of getting his own feelings out. Long story short, I hate kids. Thank Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.